People are often worried because they read through the New Testament. They see times when Jesus seems to be saying that he's going to come back again within the lifetime of the people he's talking to. And they say, well, that didn't happen, did it? So what's going on? And I just want to have a look at a few of those texts. And there are three of them in Matthew's Gospel. And one of the most striking ones is when Jesus says to his disciples in Matthew 16, verse 28, he says, "Truly I say to you, there are some standing here who will not taste death until they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom." And when people see the coming of the Son of Man, they immediately think of him coming to earth and wrapping everything up. And that's a mistake. The reason why is that phrase, coming of the Son of Man, comes from the Old Testament, and it comes from Daniel chapter 7. And in that picture, in Daniel chapter 7, it's really one of the main places where the phrase Son of Man is used in the Old Testament. It talks about how the Son of Man comes to one called the Ancient of Days, who you could understand as God the Father. And he comes to him and is given all power and authority and a kingdom, and has this kingdom will last forever. So the interesting thing is the coming of the Son of Man in the Old Testament is not the coming to earth, but the coming to his Father. Now, if you read every time that it says coming of the Son of Man as meaning coming to earth, you're actually missing that Old Testament background. So sometimes in Matthew's Gospel, the coming of the Son of Man is a coming to earth. And it's described in Daniel 7 as he comes with the clouds of heaven to the Ancient of Days. And then what happens is in Matthew 26 at his trial, when he's speaking to the high priest, he says that one day the Son of Man will come with the clouds, but he means come to earth. So clearly this phrase, coming of the Son of Man to with the clouds, is used in more than one way. It's coming to the Father and then coming to the earth. And so you've got to understand which one of these two it's talking about. And clearly what Jesus is doing is he is showing that there is more than one level to this. And that often happens in the way that prophecy works in the Old Testament. Clearly, Old Testament prophecy is not meant to be as clear as it possibly could be. I mean, if the Old Testament wanted to make things clearer, it really could. A lot of the texts in the Old Testament are difficult. They're meant to be difficult. They're written in a cryptic way because what you're meant to do is you're meant to say, what is this saying to me now? And you're meant to have to work at it. I think of it sometimes a bit like codes. Perhaps a parent has a way of speaking to another parent without the child understanding. So they have to speak in a way that reveals and hides at the same time. Or when you have codes in military operations, you might call some beaches Juno or sword or something like that, which is reveals to people who are in the know and conceals to people who are outside the know. That's actually something we're doing all the time. And that's what biblical prophecy is doing. It's simultaneously revealing and concealing, which means you need to think quite deeply about what's going on.